Okay, so we did this yesterday, solving radical equations. Okay, what should I do here? What's a good math maneuver to pull? Square it, yeah. So I'm going to square. Okay, so this is squaring a square root, so this is x minus 1. Done. Okay, this side is different. Because there's a 7 out front, something else changes. So to think about it in a long way, to think about it in what's happening with a square, remember how I always say compartments. What's the whole number part? What's the radical part? So what is the whole number part of it? 49. And what's the radical part? What happens, bless you, when you do a root x plus 3 and times a root x plus 3? It becomes x plus 3. Because remember this. What happens if I do root 510 times root 510? What does that become? 510, right? Okay. That got you to where you need to go. The rest is grade 9 maneuvers here. So you would distribute, move, collect, all the algebra stuff. Okay, but does that make sense? I just really wanted to hit the part where you have a coefficient in the front, so it's squaring, and then the radical part squaring cancels. Okay, next we're going to do one together in your booklet. Number 16. Okay, here we go. What should I do on number 16? What would your first instinct be? Square. I'm going to square, I'm going to square. Okay, and when I square, you're always thinking square the side, square the side. Okay, the left side, nice and easy. What happens with a square and square root? Gone. The right-hand side becomes pretty tricky, okay? Remember, again, you're not squaring individual things, you're squaring a unit. I'm going to keep saying that because it's a big math idea. You're squaring the binomial. Every time you square a binomial, it always makes you have to FOIL, right? Squaring binomials. Okay, slow and steady here on our FOIL. Ready? What is the number in the front of this one? 9. What's the root stuff? What's a root x times a root x? Just x now. Okay. Now on to the outside. What would you want to write in the front of this? The whole number part of it. -3 minus 3. Radical 2x. Radical 2x, because there's an x radical times a 2 radical, so that's 2x. What's this one? Same thing, right? There's a -3 that we're going to put in the front. And then the radical, so compartments, right? Whole number part of it, the radical part of it. What do you get on the last step? Subtract, subtract, so this is a plus. Root 2 makes a whole number 2. Okay, what do you think a good idea is to do next? I feel like we should say the radical stuff is going to be over here. The non-radical stuff is going to go to the other side. Does that sound like a good idea? Makes sense why I would do that? Radical stuff one way, non-radical stuff the other way. So I'm going to be subtracting a 9x, and I'm going to be subtracting a 2. So then I get just a -6x. That 2 is gone now, right? That's okay. And look at this. We can put this together. Why am I allowed to put it together? They're the similar radical. 2x's and 2x. So how many root 2x's do I have? -6 root 2x. I think it's going to be legit to say we're going to do what next? What would be a good thing? Can we say we're going to divide? Would that be a okay thing to do? X root 2x. Now what? Square it. I'm going to square it again. I got to do another square maneuver because I still have a radical left in here. So this is x squared. And then what happens with a radical getting squared? Gone. No, because then that would just put me right back to this exact line. Okay. This is your grade 11 moment again. 0. I have to do 0 here. Why do I have to do 0? Because you have 2 variables. Okay. X squared minus 2x equals 0. Then you go through your checklist. Can you factor this? Yeah, GCF. There's a lot of math going on this question. Okay. I'm going to tell you, every time you get 2 answers, you should probably go back in and check them. There's a strong possibility that one of them doesn't work. Okay? How do you check answers? You plug it in. So if I plug in 0, if I plug in 0, this would be just a root 2. If I plug in 0, this whole thing right here would be gone. And then it would say subtract root 2. So what do you think? Would that work?
No.
No. No.
Then 2 would have to be right. But we still want to check it.
We would want to check it. If I plugged in a 2 on this side, I would get a root 8. And if I plugged in a 2 on that side, I would get 3 root 2 minus a root 2, making a 2 root 2. Is that the same? Is a root 8 the same as a 2 root 2? What do you think? Is there something we can do because we have the skills to do something with a root 8? And you remember a past skill we've already learned this unit to break it down? Remember that skill?
Yeah, 2 and 4 and then 4.
So 8 is the same as a 4 times 2, so root 4 times root 2. And then what is a root of 4? Whole number 2. There we go. Okay, high level thinking question.
What's like the hardest thing on the test?
That would be a level hard. Yeah.
That's almost level impossible.
Yeah, 0 is 3.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Okay, so the first step, move that over. Second step is to square both sides. And remembering that the squaring of a side means to repeat and FOIL. Okay, FOIL. That's good. So now I'm going to rewrite this. I have just an x there. We're going to go plus 2. Put those together. And because these are the same radical, you can put them together. See, if you have that plus that, now you have 2 of those roots. Okay, where would you go next? Would you think radical stuff on one side? So then, would you think like that? Radical stuff, not radical stuff. So I'm going to minus an x, I'm going to minus a 2. So now I'm at a 1x plus a 1, and then the radical unit. Ooh, this is never ending. Because now what? Now we have to square it. So there we go. Square it is the answer. Oh, now we got another FOIL. We can do it. Okay. I feel an equals 0 in my books as well. I put my OI together already. Is that okay? I'm didn't do the 4 parts. Maybe you're getting there too, where you can just do the OI together. Okay, we just did this one at the start of class. What does this look like if I square it because of the number in the front of it yet? 4. x plus 1. Okay, did you get that? I squared the coefficient and the squaring the radical got that just to disappear.
Wait, where'd that 4 come from?
Yeah, where does that four?
What?
Four X
This
plus
4 or this 4?
Not 4!
When you FOIL that, it goes 4x plus 4.
Oh.
This 4?
Oh, you just do that.
That's my distribution 4.
Oh,
Wait, so
Every math concept I feel like you've ever done is probably in this question.
What about graphing?
Okay, no. But you learn how to graph radicals in grade 12. I can show you how to graph a radical.
The 360.
Do you want me to graph this for you?
Yeah.
And this, and I can find the because this is a line and this is a radical, we can find the intersection point. We can do that.
I shouldn't have even mentioned
open that book.
Do you want to open that book right
I don't
now?
want to open it.
Okay,
I don't want to open the can of worms.
somebody already knew 10 steps ago we're going to be probably at equal 0, and here we are, right? There it is.
I predicted it.
Equals 0 it.
He had his zeros.
Equals 0. I have 2 lines left and I'm just at the end of my paper. All right. Still going okay for me because I think I can factor this. Multiplies to 3. 3 times 1. X equals 3, x equals negative 1. Not the end. Never ending. You have to check it. Okay. I'm going to say the 3 plugged in
Yes.
is, so this is 6 plus 3, so that's a root 9, minus a root 4 equals 1. Does that check out? 3 minus 2.
Yeah, where are we getting all this?
Where do we get the root 4?
Or root 9.
Because it's two.
If I plug in a 3, ready? What's 2 times 3?
Okay.
6.
6. 6 plus 3?
9.
9. That's where I got a root 9 from. If I plug in a 3, what's 3 plus 1? 4. That's where they came from. That one checks out.
Wow.
Okay, now I'm going to input a negative 1. You ready to do that? 2 times negative 1. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. So the square root of 1. Minus, so I'm plugging in a negative 1. So negative 1 plus 1 is 0.
So just one.
So this is, boom, checks out. They both work. They ended up both working. So your 50-50 chance did not pan out on that question.
Now a 1/3 chance.